Welcome back to Iron Archery Outdoors, guys. We're going to talk to you about a little bit of setup that is new to me this year, and so far been shooting it really good, and kind of give you a rundown of the setup I'm running and what I'm going to be shooting next weekend at the R100, the Reinhardt R100. It's a national archery tour here in Wisconsin, in Sparta, Wisconsin, this coming weekend. And the following weekend, we are going to Snow River, Michigan for TAC up there. So the first week of August. Well, first 3 days of August. So, I'm going to give you a rundown of my setup and things I preferred, a couple upgrades I went to this year, and my pros and cons. So, we're going to break it down. First, we're going to start off with the new to me this year is the Hoyt AX2 29. And so I went to the 29 partially because I'm a shorter person. I've always kind of preferred the shorter axle-to-axle bows. Kind of more or less because I'm going to shoot the most what I'm going to hunt with. And I've kind of always been that way. I used to have two bows back in the past. I'd run one for 3D and target, and run one for hunting. But I always shot my 3D target setup as I could still not change anything and use it as a backup. You know, I wasn't running any crazy long bars, anything like that. I could pick it up and go. But going down into this, as I am running, I changed the factory match string, their wirework string or whatever you want to call them, and I put unbound archery strings on it. Nicholas Dawa, he makes phenomenal strings. We have a couple sets of them here. I got this one and this one. This is the sand color. I have a natural color on my Elite Vision right here. Oh, sorry, no, that's the AX. That's my buddy's RX9 Ultra, which has a natural unbound string on it. But my Elite Vision up here has a natural unbound string on it, and my wife's Eva Gen 3 Bowtech has a purple unbound on it. And he uses a VEC 99 string, which is a super awesome fiber. It's made by Bloodline. It does not stretch, and it is extremely strong. Don't get no peep rotations out of this stuff. It's higher heat resistant than a 452 string. It's a waxless string, just like the B99. It's higher abrasion a little higher abrasion resistant than the B99, but a lot more abrasion resistance than your 452 strings. Now, I'm not totally familiar with the new Ghost System X strings by Gas, or not the Ghost System X string, the System X string by Gas. I've been hearing good things about it, but I'm not totally sure on what the whole breakdown of the materials are in it. But anyway, this is what I run. This is what I recommend for any of the bows I build. I put several strings on for other guys that are with these, and they're absolutely loving them. You don't have a decrease in poundage with strings stretching. Everything stays the same. I mean, I ran a lot of arrows through my Elite Vision on that one, and nothing has changed. So that's one awesome thing about these. So you mountain guys hunting out the mountains out west where you're dragging your bows through the brush, you know, they're sliding on some rocks, getting up them shale cliffs, whatever. Really check out Unbound Archery with these VEC 99 strings. I mean, they will take care of you. Nicholas as a person is absolutely awesome. If you have any questions or something, you just hit him up and he will get you squared away. He's super fair, and he's the only guy building the strings, so you don't get differences from one builder to the next builder in the same company. So everything's right out of his hands. He knows exactly what's going on, and I can't say enough good stuff about these unbound strings. So going on, I had a 4-piece. I ended up deciding I wanted to go to a 6. Just so these bigger shoots like TAC, whatever, where you're going to have more arrows on you, you're going to hit stuff. whether it's a tree, whether it's a rock, whether you shoot through a target and bounce it off a tree or rock, or shoot through a target and it goes off in a Never Never Land. Or you just plain miss them. You know, that happens too. So, few more arrows on here, and that's exactly how I'm going to hunt with. I'll have my 3 or 4 main broadheads. I'll have a Plan B arrow, which is, you know, just another random broadhead I'll have in there in case I need to get up on a deer and put a finishing shot on one, so I'm not burying a, you know, a day 6 into the dirt, whatever. And then I usually have a whatever arrow, which I usually throw a mechanical or something on it. Is, you know, coyote comes in or whatever, you know, stuff like that. But going forward, I'm shooting the same, well, I shouldn't say the same, but I'm shooting the Epsilon V2 by Hamskea. I had the Epsilon on my Envision, and I ran thousands and thousands of arrows, so I think I absolutely fell in love with it. And I was debating on selling that bow with it on, so I wasn't totally sure what I want to do, so I just put a V2 on this one. And what with that, what I personally run on here, kind of hard to see it, but while we're here, if you are running a 2-piece Hoyt quiver, I highly, highly suggest, because a lot of guys don't want to run a 2-piece because A, they're not a quick detachable quiver, okay? They think, well, it's on there, I can't take it off, whatever, got to take it in out of the bow case, I'm constantly having an Allen wrench, take the thing on and off, whatever, it gets frustrating. What I recommend is these little turn knobs that come on the fixed quivers, you know, the 1-piece quivers for Hoyt, they fit the same hole. All they do is loosen the top one, loosen my bottom one, and I could just take my quiver right off. Oh, a little more. And I could take it right off, just like that. So since we're here, what I run on my drop cord on my Hamskea, I recommend this to anybody that is running a limb-driven rest. Most factory cables or the cords will stretch. They have some stretchiness to them, whatever. I don't like it. I ditch it, whatever. I'm running a Gibbs 23 3D rope. I think it's called like a Superflex or something like that. But this Gibbs D-loop material is insanely strong. And it does not stretch at all. You can run a BCY 23 or BCY 24. That stuff is very good too. But this Gibbs stuff is super, super durable. And it's super strong. So that's what I run on this. And it's been great. Going back out of there, I run I have BCY 23, what I use a lot, but on this one, I ran on my Elite Vision too, but I run the Gas 23 D-loops. They've been really good. They're nice. They're a nice flexible D-loop. So when you're running a hinge or a thumb or whatever, you know, obviously you're going to be tilting it or whatever. They're nice and flexible, so you're not integrating torque into the string. They've been absolutely awesome. Going down on that, I threw some cat whiskers on here because I had issues with dampeners breaking. We're not going to totally go into the whole details of that, but it was frustrating. I couldn't get away from dampeners breaking. And a lot of guys, well, just keep them off, whatever. I was like, well, whatever, you know. I mean, like I said, I'm going to build this bow as my hunting bow, and I'm going to shoot everything else with it. And that's how it's going to be. So obviously, I'd like to keep it as quiet as I can get it, right? Well, so I put cat whiskers on here. I'm running a little Pine Ridge, little dealios on here too. Just kind of more test them out, see how long they actually last. Because I had monkey tails on it, and like 50 shots, the tails would rip right off. So I'm testing these out. So far, they've been hanging in there, but if they come off, they come off. But solely, I'm kind of testing out the cat whiskers too. See how long they last, and they've been holding up really well. So, but I got my blow noise down. My 3D arrows are 403, 404 grain. 403, 404 grain, somewhere there. And my goal was to get as quiet as I can with those arrows. And it's pretty dang quiet. So when I put a heavier arrow on it, like my hunting arrow, it hovers right around 500 grain. This thing is pretty dang quiet. So with the skittish whitetails, I want as quiet as I can get it. So going forward with that, I'm testing out another new thing, is the Hi-Tech, I think it's what it's called, Hi-Tech string stop. This has got their, I think it's called a sandbag string stop thing or whatever. It's kind of a cool little material. But anyway, I'm testing this out. I've had pretty good luck with it. So far, I like it. it does a really good job. It's a little upgrade from the factory one. I have a titanium archery product one on my Elite Vision, which is really good too. But I want to test this one out. It's been seeing a lot of cool stuff with them, and especially their stabilizers. Been catching my attention too. Going forward on that, I'm running the Conquest Control Freak bars. I'm running a 15 front, and I believe I have an 10 on the back. I have a 10-inch on the back. But on the front, I'm running 5 ounces up front, and I believe I'm running 10 ounces on the rear. This balances out really nice. Mind you, I have it balanced out with the quiver and everything on it. So, it balances good. It holds really good. I'm shooting the Bomar wrap without the factory grip. I do love Hoyt's factory grip, but when I was setting up my draw length, I felt with the grip on, I felt just a tiny bit short. With it off, I was a smidge long, so I split the happy medium and I just shot off the riser with the Bomar wrap. I ran a Bomar wrap on my Elite Vision, and I really like the wraps. When they get wet, they don't get slippery or weird. You know, they're always nice and grippy. So that's what I'm running there. I'm running the Ghost Sticks 2.0, which are super nice because I can just kick them off and tuck them in if I want to, like that. But I set mine tilted back a little bit so I can lean it down so it rests on the tip of my stabilizer. I know Hoyt's got their little built-in nub down here where you can set it up, set that on there, kind of keep it out of the dirt a little bit. I still got my ifs on that part where I can just tip it forward and my cam sits 2 inches off the ground. So going forward to that is the all new to this year is the XL driver. I'm very familiar with XL. I ran several XL landslides side to side. I ran them as a target sight and a hunting sight with different scope setups on them. I ran the XL AccuTouch. So going down the line is things with the landslide. If you have one, if you've used one, you know what I'm talking about. Their second axis adjustments. The first axis, you kind of had to get everything leveled up, loosen 2 screws, and pivot the sight rail on. You had to pivot the sight rail on the dovetail. Okay. Now the driver, they have an actual driven system right here where you can just loosen up this bottom and just crack the top one just to slightly loose so it'll move, and you can run this in and out and tilt your rail. You can plumb your rail. A lot of guys plumb their rail with the bow itself. I prefer to plumb it with the string. So you can do whatever you do, but that's what I do. I level and plumb everything on the sight to the string. It's my preference. It works really good for me. But when they did this XL driver, they went to a built-in second axis. So your first and your second axis are built off of this one adjustment right here. So when you plumb your string, you plumb this, sets your second axis. Some guys don't trust it. Some guys say they had issues with it. I ran it on my Elite Vision when I first got it. It was before I got my AX2, and it was dead nuts. When I set that first axis on my rail, my second axis was awesome, and just put it on this bow. Totally different bow, still different platforms, and same thing. It was dead nuts when I got it set. Now the third axis is where they upgraded a little bit. So I'm going to pop this off and show you a better look at that, which I was really happy they did. I feel they can still upgrade from it, which I feel they're going to. But on the third axis adjustment right here, these 2 screws right here, there's a little pin inside between those 2 holes, right in here, right in between them on the bottom side. So in here, okay. So you loosen these up and you tilt your scope like this. And that's where you get your third axis for shooting uphill and downhill. So I'm hoping they kind of figure out something down the road as far as a driven system like HHA has on their Nitrix. The other one, UV has it, a driven system. Black Gold, that's the other one I was thinking of. I'm sure there's maybe another 1 or 2 out there that do it, but XL does not have a driven third axis adjustment yet. I'm hoping it's coming, But anyway, it's not the end of the world. It's still a definite improvement from up from last year, or from the landslide. Second thing is, you notice it is drastically smaller than the landslide. Way more simplified, or as we can also refer to as dumbified. They put their windage adjustment on the inside. You just push that in, turn the dial, push that little thing back out, locks it out. They went to your rail lock up here for your wheel, and they went to a big wheel. And basically one full turn of this wheel is getting you all the way to the top and bottom. One entire full rotation. So you can really, when you got to make up ground, you can really rip the yardage down or up, whatever you got to do. Some guys are probably wondering why this is on the opposite side, because I'm shooting a bridge lock dovetail. So you're thinking, why am I shooting a bridge lock on a non-bridge lock bow? So to be totally honest with you, this was actually the very first Excel driver that came into my local Scheels in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. It was the very first one they got, and I'm like, I want it. Because this dovetail is the same design as that goes into your dovetail mounts for Excel. So keep that in mind. These will fit. A bridge lock will fit an Excel dovetail mount right here. Okay. Now this is like their upgraded like Archive one, or the Archive, whatever. I like it. Just got you got a bigger knob on it. Looks cool, whatever. But the other thing I like is it has a ball bearing in there. So you wonder what the ball bearing's for? Is on Excel sites, on their dovetails, you have little spots where normally your knob on your landslide mount will actually push into that knob. Well, with this one, being it sits off to the side, this goes straight in. Okay, so what does this do? Now this is where it's nice, as a hunting site, in the dark, no light, whatever. You can always set this to the same spot. So you can hear it lock in. Same spot every time. You don't even you can do it with your eyes closed. Super nice. So going back on that, kind of running out of things to where I'm going at. Well, I can break down my arrow. My arrow build is a RIP TKO V1 300 spine. I'm shooting AE Hybrid 23s, one Stinger wraps, custom wraps of mine. My Iron Archery Outdoors wraps. Shoot my Black Knox. I like Black Knox. People can't see my arrows. But I'm shooting Easton Match components. If you're wondering about match grade components on RIP TKO shafts, your 350, 300, and 250 spine arrows will shoot a number two Easton Match collar. Okay. So these come out about, the number twos come out about 18 grains. I'm shooting a 100 grain match tip. Inside, I'm shooting a 16 grain Easton aluminum Easton hit insert. So all that together comes out 403, 405. My arrows are cut down to 26.5 inch draw, or 26.5 inches carbon to carbon, with run the IP5 knock that come factory with the RIP TKO arrows. I've had really good luck with these knocks, so they shoot well. I get great knock fits with them, which you can get good knock fits with any knock, but it's just what I prefer. But I get good knock fits, all that stuff. They've been a super durable knock. I've never had one break when shooting them or crack them. I mean, I've shot the same knocks out of the arrows thousands of times, and I've never had one break or have something malfunction with them that they're not supposed to do. So this arrow comes out about 13.5% FOC. I've never been overly worried about it with field tips. Broadheads, I like to favor it up a little bit more, get a little more weight in the front. Helps your flight a little better, especially if you're shooting a bigger fixed blade head, like your Day 6 Evo X. That's an 1 1/4 cut 2-blade with 3/4 inch bleeder blades. Last year I shot iron wheel wide single bevel rights, and those are 1 3/8 cut fixed blade with 3/4 inch bleeders. So they shot really well. Mind you, your bow tune is the biggest thing when it comes to fixed blade head or fixed blade broadhead flight, period. But when you play around with the FOC, get a little more weight up in the front, I feel it helps. So going down on the line, put my detachable 2-piece quiver back on here. Slide that on, tighten it down. And we are good to go. So I'm shooting this at about 78 pounds. At right now, I actually just changed the mods yesterday. I went to try out a 28.25 inch. I was maxed out on my other mod, my number 3 mod, which is a 27.25 to 28. I was running my 28 and it felt pretty good, but it felt like I was just a little crunched in my shoulder, like I needed to get extended just a little bit. So I got the number 4 mods from a guy on eBay. They were brand new takeoffs. He needed a different size. So I got it from him, and the 28.25 feels pretty good. So I'm going to run with that for a while and see how I turn out, see if I like it, see if I maybe want to go back to 28, what I want to do. But with those, with the 403, 404 grain arrow, I just chronoed it tonight with the 28.25 inch mods on it, and I was shooting 307. So give you a little perspective on that. Now when I was shooting it at like 28, when it turned up a little bit more, I ran everything tight. I still run the pockets tight. I just took a few twists out of the cables. I was shooting it at about 80, 81 pounds, and I was running right around 312, 313, somewhere in there. Backed out a little bit now. I'm running right about that 307, which I kind of want to check it to see what it did when I put that other mod on there. I don't think it really did anything, but we'll just kind of double check it just to see what it is. I'm kind of curious what my holding weight's at and stuff. Anyway, oh, it might have been the last thing I drew back, but anyway. So 79.2. It's gonna be hard to see that. Of course, you can't even see. There you go. 79.2, 10.5, 87.1% let off. So that being said, I probably could twist a little bit, get that let off back down a little bit. That's probably where I lost some feet per second at. I get that closer because I got 85% setting, so I could tweak it a little bit. I could try it again, see if it changes though. Sometimes it varies a little bit when you draw back. No, the same. Okay. So yeah. Anyway. So now that you believe I'm pulling it. So anyway. So that's what I'm shooting. I shot my hunting arrow because I'm still building those. It's a RIP TKO 250 with 75 grain titanium Ethics hit insert with an 10 grain titanium iron wool collar with 120. Well, the broadhead would be 133 grains. So whatever that comes out to, it'd be right around like 213, 215 grains up front with the same arrow length, 26.5, but I'm shooting the new Boning Alpha vein, so I'm going to play with those. I haven't got a chance to shoot them with broadheads yet, but I'm excited. I actually played with it a little bit the other week. I took one of my Evo X's and put it on my light arrow. So it was probably still shooting around sub 300, a little over 300, which is scooting pretty good for a big fixed blade. And 20 and 30 shot pretty good. 40, I could start to see that broadhead want to take over, which I was shooting with a 3-fletch hybrid 23 vein. So there's not much drag back there for a big broadhead. But it flew pretty good, so I'm really excited once I put the heavy arrows behind it with a bigger vein. I think they're going to fly absolutely phenomenal. But going down that, yeah, so that's kind of my setup as far as that, with a Hoyt AX2 29, 78 pounder, 79 pounder, and getting good numbers. And yeah, with that 500 grain arrow, they was shooting it at 280, so I'm pretty happy with that number. That'd be an awesome number. Good trajectories. Pound and energy comes out to about 85 foot-pounds, so I can't ask for much more, being a relatively shorter draw. And this bow draw is really nice for a lighter weight, or for a higher weight bow. So that's my bow hunting and tack setup right there. So helps you out, gives you a little insight. One other thing I'm going to show you is, probably wonder why I run so much weight on it, because A, heavy is steady. Don't ever forget it, because it's true. Heavy is steady. A light bow will drift around a lot more. So we're going to see what this whole thing weighs right now, fully loaded. .8 pounds. That's going to be tricky to see it again. 7.8 pounds. Which my Elite Vision was about 3/4 to a pound heavier. So that's still kind of stuff I'm getting a little bit used to yet. I mean, I'm not superly familiar with the bow yet, but the thing I like about the lighter bow is I can put weight where I want it. It's easier to put weight where I want it. So that being, well, that too, I still run the little factory Hoyt nub on here just to keep a little weight, and just something else up here, so whatever. But I like the little bit extra weight in there. As far as that, some guys like running the bar down low. I felt for me it held better with the bar up on the standard spot. So that is it. That is the bow. If you are in Michigan Tack, I will be there. So we're gonna drop a little side note on here. If you are going to Michigan Tack, and if you are looking for another bow, I do have my Elite Vision right here. It is all ready to go. All you do is got to throw a stabilizer on there. It will come with a quick disconnect. It's got an IQ 5-pin sight on it. It's got the Elite X-Terrain quiver, what is a 4-arrow quiver, but I got RIP 300s on here with a max helical blazer vane. It's a cool shooting arrow. This currently has 80-pound limbs on it as well. I do have 70-pound limbs that'll go with it, and another set of strings. Well, like 2 extra set of strings. It's got a QAD HDX drop away on it. And yeah, so if you're interested, watch this video. Shoot me a comment on there, or look me up on Facebook, Will Cody, or my Facebook page, or my Facebook, Will Cody, or Iron Archery Outdoors. See me on there. Send me a PM. Hey, you're interested in the Elite Vision? Want some details? Vice versa. Let me know. And on the side note is, hope this video didn't get overly boring upon everything that's going on, but I'm going to keep dropping videos. Whether you want to watch them or not, that's up to you. But I really encourage, hit the subscribe button, get some views out. I'm only here to help you guys know more truthful information. There's so much BS information floating around out there, and smaller guys like me, I know a couple other guys in nearby states that do the same thing. Small guys that have proof in the pudding of things that people are saying online that are not true and are being proven wrong all the time, and they don't like to hear the truth. So, which I really like doing that. I like proving people wrong, and if I am wrong, that's fine. I 100% agree. I 100% admit up to it. If you can prove me wrong, that's fine. I do not get heart bent. I do not hold grudges toward anybody. So, that being said, hit the subscribe button. If you got questions on something, drop a comment below. If you want to ask me questions about anything else, preferences on arrow builds, whatever you want to ask me about, I'll do my dangest to give you give you a positive answer for it. So stay tuned to the next videos. We got some fun stuff coming up. Till then, shoot straight.